Okay, awesome. So anyone that's watching now, this is myself, Phil Key, and I'm chatting to Mike Kemski. I'm just going to read a little bit about yourself, Mike. So Mike has shared the stage. Oh, sorry. Yes, Mike has shared the stage with some of the biggest names in the industry, including Bob Proctor, Marianne Williamson, Harv Eker, Vicotor Hansen, Kyle Cease, Michael Beckwith, and more. Some of those names I don't know, but some of them I really do know. Mike is a 2-time best-selling author and creator of the PowerLife Principles, which Mike, I'd love to chat to you a bit more about that, because I don't actually know what that is. His focus is on creating miracles for others, but helping others discover that they have the power to create their own miracles in life. His work with the PowerLife Principles has reached people in over 70 countries and helped them activate their power to create positive, lasting change in their lives. He's received hundreds of gratitude letters from the wonderful people all around the world who have been impacted by his work. So, Mike, welcome.
Thank you. You had a good audience back there for a minute, some sort of crazy chicken or something.
They're called hardy-daws. They're these massive birds.
In South Africa? That's where you're at?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see it, man. It sounded gnarly. Like, that's great.
So, Mike is actually calling in from, I believe it's Phuket, Thailand. Now you're traveling a bit, right?
Yeah. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I'm in Phuket, Thailand now till I leave. I'll probably leave end of next week. Yep.
Amazing. How are you finding Thailand?
I love it. I've been there before. I haven't been to Phuket before, but it's Thailand's cool. I love Thailand. It's beautiful. I'm looking right now. My view is this big, beautiful jungle. I'm up in the mountains, and I can see the ocean and Coconut Island, and it's just, it's beautiful.
Oh,
and
man.
there is like a wall of rain coming towards me. So if it starts raining, I'm gonna have to run inside. But if not, we're good. So.
Okay, I'd love to see that view. Maybe is it possible to turn your camera?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't really do it justice with this. Let me get out of the way. You can see like jungle mountains and
Thailand,
kind of a cloudy day. The sun keeps coming in and out. It's rainy season here, so yeah, that right there is somewhere out there. It's Coconut Island. Yeah, that bump over there. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. Amazing people, amazing food. Yeah, we're gonna go jet skiing in the ocean. Well, tomorrow we're going to an elephant sanctuary. It's pretty cool. I know this is off topic, but the people that get these elephants and they kind of mistreat them and train them and ride them and all this business, when they get old and the people are going to kill the elephants, these people actually go buy them from them, and they have a sanctuary for elephants. And then we go as patrons go to the elephant sanctuary, and you can't ride them or anything, but you can feed them and just hang out with them and observe them and watch them and spend time with them. And that supports these people helping to kind of give these elephants the last days of their life a good life. So and elephants are amazing creatures. So we're gonna do that tomorrow. Then we're gonna go jet skiing in the ocean. We got some fun stuff planned.
Hey, that sounds amazing, man. Yeah, I know when I was in Thailand and I saw how the elephants, they will almost get like tied down to an area and they can only move in a circle.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so our topic is on healthy masculinity. And I also mentioned toxic masculinity, and you said it's not really something you're interested in talking about. And yeah, I guess what I would like to chat about is the healthy masculinity. I don't think it's, I believe that energy goes where you focus. So if you're focusing on how to stop toxic masculinity, you're actually focusing on the toxicity of masculinity. So it almost does the opposite effect of focusing on the healthy version.
Yeah, and it's just, so the thing, okay, let me just preface this. I don't even know what that stuff means. I don't engage in conversations or ideas or energy that has like politics or religion or agendas, that kind of stuff. I just don't have any interest in it, because it's really, I have an interest in why people do it and why people engage with it, because I know the underlying reason why. But I don't even know what toxic masculinity is. I have an idea from people, but I literally tune all that out. I don't know. Healthy masculinity to me is literally just being a man as you define being a man. I mean, my version of it, and again, it's an opinion, and my opinion is no more valid than anybody else's. Me being a husband and a father, and a friend and a man and all these things. That's my lens of masculinity. And masculinity to me is being not only strong and powerful and you're ready to kick some ass if life requires that, but also being kind and compassionate and sensitive. I mean, you got to have a harmony of both those things, both those energies, to really embody what masculinity means to me. It's not a very complex idea or topic for me, but what really sparked my interest in this topic and this idea is kind of the agenda type thing. And that's, I think, the people that are viewing this, people that watch this, I think we can deliver the most value to them by talking about that, because really what it comes down to is, why do people latch on to these agendas or these causes or these different things? And it's always the same thing. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years, so it's like there's nothing new. It's just all kind of the same thing. But the idea, go ahead.
I guess that it's quite a hot topic in South Africa at the moment. And that's because there's been recently quite a few rapings and killings, and it's generally done by men, you know. And I guess the reason that happens is that men have more strength and they can abuse that power. So if there was to be a term toxic masculinity, I think it would be that. It would be like, oh, I'm bigger and I'm stronger than you, so I can abuse this power. And so it's just quite a topical thing happening in South Africa at the moment.
Toxic humanity.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's anybody that causes harm to other people for any reason that is not necessary, or in self-defense, or in defending your family or your property or whatever. That's just not okay with me. To me, that's a misuse of the true energy that's happening inside of them. And again, that's the same kind of thing for the perpetrators and the victims and all this stuff, the whole agenda thing. I don't engage in it, not because I don't care, not because I don't know that there's injustice in the world, not because I don't know that that stuff exists out there, but I don't think it's the best use of energy to focus on trying to stop something versus the opposite of that, is trying to create something, is because we're creators, right?
100%.
And the reason that people generally gravitate towards agendas or things like that is because, quite frankly, they are in pain. They're scared. They're alone. They feel lost in this world. They feel isolated. They don't feel like they belong to anything. They don't feel a sense of significance or purpose. Or oftentimes too, they don't feel empowered. They don't have a sense of their own power and own ability to create what they want in life. And so any human being, if you take away those things from any human being, man, woman, or anything in between, which there isn't really anything in between, but you take anything that away from somebody, the ability to be empowered and a sense of meaning, a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, what are they left with? They're left with nothing. They're left with this empty space of confusion and pain. And human beings will do almost anything to find relief from pain. And that's an avenue for that. And that, I think, is an underlying issue that can help a lot of people to focus on what you can do if this topic is something that's a hot topic for you or going on in the world. What can you do to change that? There's really only one answer. I mean, there's one thing you can do, and it's not really about. Now we got crazy dogs, crazy birds. This is all. You change the world. I mean, this is all stuff that people mostly already know by changing yourself. Yeah. And, you know, I have my principle one, the principle, the tagline I have all the time is highest energy wins. And if you're focused on these problems and these issues, and you don't use that awareness as it's intended to be used, then you're really just feeding the problem. And you're creating a kind of a victim bubble for people that can stay in that sense because they feel less pain. And I get it, and that's fine. But really, the awareness is important. But the awareness is just to go, oh shit, I got it. Now you shift your focus to creating something that's different, that's better, that's more serving to the world, to humanity, to you. And it's based in whatever you find most value in: compassion, love, and caring, and growth and expansion, which most people find as good things, not bad things. But those bad things that people realize, it creates a very, very powerful and functional contrast. So you can be clear about, I don't like this, I don't want this. When I view this, or I see this happening, or I become aware of this happening, it creates this kind of energy in my mind and these kinds of thoughts and this kind of feelings in my heart, this kind of energy in my emotional energy system. And I don't like how that feels. It's not conducive to me living the most rich, full, abundant, happy, healthy, awe-inspired life I can possibly live in my time here. It creates that contrast. You go, I don't like this, so what do I want? And that's part of the PowerLife Principles and part of the PowerLife Challenge that I'm finally rolling out to help people with this stuff, to get clear on what they want. But the idea of fighting the good fight, there's a time and place for that, absolutely. But I think the best way to fight it is by not changing, but transforming your mindset and transforming your emotional capacity and the way that you feel and what drives you, and becoming more aware of what that is, so you can take action and build an environment, an ecosystem that's conducive and supportive of how you want to feel. Which, if you're in an environment like that, where there's rape and pillage and murder and stuff, you're probably not going to feel too good about life or your environment or anything, and it starts to deteriorate your ability and your capacity to create, because it's just riddled with fear. And again, I don't poo-poo any emotional energy. It all has function. Fear has a very powerful and useful function, but it's not energy it's meant to be lived in. And so if you live in it, it just kind of eats your soul from the inside out, and you can't really do much to create a change or transformation in your life. So you can be a catalyst for a different way of life, a new way of life for some of these people. Because when it comes down to it, I mean, all of this stuff is just caused by pain. I mean, people are in pain, and they don't know what to do. And they don't have people who are guiding them, supporting them, or resources to help them. So if we can focus on ourselves in a way that gives us more kind of, not access, we always have access to our power, but gives us more ability and strength in our own power, then we can become a catalyst for and a torch, in principle 11 of my principles, a torch that people can see and go, yeah, that's a better way of life for me. And that will eventually, I've seen it happen in my own work and everything else, where there's a ripple effect around the world, where people it actually elevates humanity to kind of a higher level of using the emotional energy and the energy systems we have in a way that's conducive to living a rich, full, happy life. So it's really a simple process, but I think there's so much noise in the world, so much chaos in the world, that when you feel that, you look around scared and you got to latch onto something, and a lot of people do that. So that's kind of the underlying cause of it. And I think if we can help people become aware of that, because here's the thing, man. Everybody has this power to create. We are creators by nature of what we are. Human beings are creators, and everybody has this power. But just like if you don't go to the gym for 20 years, or you don't, continue to practice and do repetitions and strengthen any energy, mentally, emotionally, or physically, you will atrophy. So if you don't use your power, if you're not aware of it, and you start stopping. If you stop using your power to create and your ability, because you get lifed and you get this and situations happen, then it atrophies. It's not that it goes away. You just have to continue to go to the gym of life, as I call it. Like, you go to the gym to actually get muscles, because you're in an environment that gives you the two things that you need to create success in life. There's only two things. It's not all this crazy, wacky stuff. There's two things that you need. You need support, and you need guidance. There's always that first pioneer that goes through this process. They're the first person that's done it. So there's no map, there's no whatever. And that's kind of how I did it, my transformation in my life, because I didn't know there was a map. I had no idea. My backstory is crazy. I'm not going to talk about it here, but there's always that first pioneer. And they're the ones that walk through these landmine fields of life, and they go really slow, because they have to examine, like, there's a landmine, there's one, and they have to figure out where all the stuff is, so they can get through it and go, hey guys, I got a map. And then that's the guide. That's someone who can guide you through this thing. And then the support part of it is, like, if you want to get a more fit and healthy body, and you go and you want to get 6-pack abs and tone swimsuit body, whatever the hell people want, you want to just lose some weight, whatever it might be. If you go to a bakery, you're not going to find the support there to help you with that. Right? You have to go to an actual gym, because the gym's full of tools and resources and people that are collectively focused on that same thing. So the support's very critical and important. If you have that and you have guidance, you can get to wherever you want in life and get whatever you want out of life. Really a simple way it all works. And again, it's just
that's something I really agree with. And it's it's almost like the law of attraction, knowing what you want and then putting your energy there. And obviously, if you're putting your energy where you want it to go, you're going to attract people and situations that have a similar vibration to that, right? So for me, I'm almost looking at my ideal lifestyle. Where do I want to live? What type of people do I want to hang out with? What type of body do I want? do I want to be like, I want to be healthy and radiant, I want to feel strong, I want to play music. And because I've got a bit of clarity on that stuff, I'm attracting those sort of situations. So I guess I'd be interested to maybe hear a little bit more about your map and what you're focusing on.
On my what?
Your map. You spoke about a
My
map
map.
earlier.
Yeah, it's the PowerLife Principles. I mean, the way, like, again, in context, you kind of have to know where I came from to understand like the power of this stuff. Because really, when you break it down, it's just nature's laws. It's not something I invented, not something I created. It's nature's laws. Highest energy wins. It's just like there's no bias, there's no judgment. Highest energy wins. Principle one. And this is not. There's no mystical shit about it. There's no magic. It's fucking. It's like this is how it works. And
Cool.
it's so there's no, I strip away all that shit because you can get, it's easy to get lost in that whimsical, mystical, whoa,
Yes.
rabbit hole type of stuff. And I see that happening, and people literally become spiritual drug addicts. They feel good for a minute. They're like, oh my God, this feels amazing. It was so deep. Oh, wow. So gnarly, whatever. And then what happens with any drug? It wears off. And what do? Oh, I need some drugs. And you, another shot of hopamine or spiritual, whatever. And they go through this cycle for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And they look at their life 20 years from now and go, fuck, man, I wanted to play music. I wanted to build a business. I wanted to have a family. What the hell happened to my life? Where'd it go? Because they get caught in the cycle. And I literally call what I do, some of it is spiritual rehab, because it's not just about the feeling good part. That's a very important part of it. But come back to principle one, highest energy wins. It's very simple. People get all with the as you said, law of attraction, which is a whole different conversation that we could go down forever. And I probably don't think the same way about most people do. But the whole idea here is that highest energy wins is not about the most, like, the highest frequency. When people say like frequency of love, no, it doesn't. Love doesn't always win. Sorry to pop bubbles, but it doesn't. Like happiness doesn't always win. Nope, not how life works. Highest energy wins. It doesn't give a shit what it is. If you have a laser beam that's shooting on, like in Star Wars, it's shooting a planet, and you have a shield blocking that laser. If the laser has bigger batteries than the shield, the planet's fucked. It's gone. It doesn't care. It's highest energy wins. Energy is just in its simplest form, two simple components. It's frequency, which, because all energy is just a waveform, right? And we can get into quantum mechanics with photons and waves, but really, honestly, I know quantum physicists, and they're like, we don't know shit about quantum physics. So I'm not going to sit here and proclaim I know about quantum. I don't know about quantum physics. I know very little, but that's not what it's about. Energy, as we experience it, is waveforms. Colors are waveforms. It's just waveforms of energy, wave patterns. So energy is two things. It's frequency, which is the speed of oscillation, which is what creates green or yellow or hot or cold or my voice, the tone of my voice. It's just a wave. And then there's amplitude. That's the power. So if you have like music, you play music, you have bass and treble. If you have bass and treble, they're two very different frequencies. Bass is like this, treble is like this. Ooh, it's faster, right? It's just a frequency, not better or worse. Get them right and tuned up right, and they have harmony, and you have music. Same thing with life. But here's the thing: if you have the bass turned down to like 0.0001 volume, the treble turned up to 100 volume, the bass doesn't even exist. Highest amplitude, highest power, highest energy wins, not the highest frequency. The frequency has no relevance to this. So it's not about love always wins, and what, that's not the case. It's just not the case. You can give because what are we? We're transceivers. We receive energy when we emit energy. We take all this fluid energy we live in, and it comes into our mind, and we kind of digest it, and with our own associations and our own hopes and dreams and fears and visions and all this stuff, we kind of digest it, and it goes into this craziness of whatever the hell's inside of your brain, and then you start to create meaning and ideas and stuff. Then there's three energy systems: your mental, emotional, and physical. Three primary energy systems that create your life. And so it goes in here, and then you do something with it, and then you activate emotional energy, and then that's how you feel. Like you get this idea, like, whoa, that would be awesome, or whoa, that would be super shitty. I don't want to do that. Whatever it is, how you feel about it, that will create an alignment of your mental and emotional energies. And when that happens, it creates activation energy, and your body just goes out and starts putting puzzles together and builds your life. Right. So this map, as I said, you said, is really simple. Highest energy wins. So what does that mean? How's that applicable in life? Because to me, it's such a simple concept, because I've been doing this for 30 years, but I've seen people take 6 months to go, oh my God, I finally got it. I'm like, okay, good, you got it. But it really isn't about this is better than that, or that's better than this, because sometimes anger is a more useful energy than passiveness. Sometimes, it's not about poo-pooing and shun the bad. It's all, what the fuck is bad? What's bad? It all has function and use. You just have to realize that you're the one that is controlling it. You're the one that's creating it, and you're the one that is using it. If you use it correctly, all the full spectrum of the energy systems that we have access to is basically fuel and the raw materials that create our lives. None of
think
it's bad.
sometimes people judge things as bad because, for example, if you get angry, like if someone gets angry, maybe they've abused their anger in the past, so now all of a sudden they got in big trouble in the past for being angry. Maybe they hit someone, or they said something that broke up their relationship, and now that they've got this thing in their head of, okay, I cannot do that again. I can't get angry. Angry is bad, so it almost becomes labeled as bad.
Yeah, I've done it. I mean, we all done it. Welcome to being human. It's like, so what? We've all done it. Everyone does that. Yeah. There's a learning process with everything. And when you reach the edge of your capacity, when you reach your edge of your ability to process stuff, that kind of shit happens. It becomes messy. Life's not always perfectly clean and sparkly and shit. It becomes messy sometimes. And you do make mistakes, and you do sometimes hurt people, and you do. And that's both ways. Being passive can be the same way. It can also be hurtful to people. When I figured out my anger thing, I was angry my whole life. It was my defense mechanism for survival. When I was angry, I didn't get beat. When I was angry, I didn't get, bad shit that happened to me didn't happen to me when I was angry. Because I was like, oh, and people were like, all right, we'll back off, because there's like a little bit of a threat there. But when one day, I was doing our bills or something when I first got married, and Kelly went and like spent a bunch of money and that we didn't have. She's like, yeah, I got all this fun stuff, whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I'm looking at bills, and I'm like, we don't have enough money to pay our bills. I'm like, and I got super pissed off. And I went to get up off my desk, and I slammed down to be all like dramatic about it and rah, throwing a fit and all this kind of stuff. And I sliced through. I don't know if you can see. There's a scar right there, a big old scar.
Oh
I
my gosh!
I sliced through my hand. I hit a piece of glass that was in my bill holder, like a picture frame from glass. I sliced through that thing, and it's like bleh, blood starts splooting everywhere. There's fat cells coming out, and it's just bloody everywhere. And I'm like, bro. And then I'm more pissed off because I cut my fucking hand. I'm like, I'm freaking out. All kinds of angry. And I'm like, and I'm looking at this, and I literally and I cut through my tendons. The scar goes all the way here. They had to rip open this, fillet it, and sew my tendons back together. It was a big old mess. And yeah, it was a deep cut. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And I look over, and my little daughter, Dallin, who was 2 years old at the time, she's looking at me, and I looked at her, and I saw her eyes, and I'm like, what the fuck? I looked behind me. I thought there was like some monster ready to eat me, like gonna kill me from behind me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm the monster. Oh my God. I realized, like, holy shit, I'm what she's afraid of. I'm like, this little girl,
goosebumps, man.
Yeah. I'm like, this little girl didn't ask to be. I adopted her, and I'm like, she didn't ask for this shit, man. This is crazy. And I realized, okay, I've got to do something about this. I got to figure it out. I'm never gonna stop being angry. I like to be angry. I like it, but it's a different experience for me now. Anger, it's in my Exposing the Core program, my Exposing the Core training. Core is creation of raw energy. Anger can be very rapidly alchemized and used as, I call it. I don't call it anger. I call it driver energy. When you're angry, if you know how to manage that and use that right, that fuel, just the energy itself, not labeling emotion on it. Like, I'm angry, I must fight, and blah, blah. You don't have to do that. Just like, I feel this massive amount of energy, and it will drive you to do things, to find strength, to find courage, to find confidence, to find all these things that you might need to get over a challenge in life that you can't get without those things. You have to have that strength and that confidence and that drive and that extra push, that little turbo boost of like, one burst. It's not energy that's meant to be lived in. No energy is. I mean, there's a static default energy zone where it's just kind of like, this like nice hum, and there's no real fluctuation of it. It's energy to be used in the moment, to be like, and you push through a project, or you get through a deadline, or you lift that extra weight at the gym, and you get the benefit from it if you know how to alchemize it and use it. And if the first part of that is becoming aware of, like, this is energy. I'm labeling it an emotion, but it's completely my choice of what I do with it. It's completely my perspective, what I take of where I can feed this stuff, what I give this energy to. Highest energy wins, to create what I want with life. So yeah, people are going to have these experiences where they've done some shit and like, oh, this is bad, and they get afraid of it. And that's the problem, is people start to think, they get so fucking afraid to live, because it's like, oh, that's wrong. I can't say this. I can't say that. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't. What are you? Why are all these Why are you putting all these restrictions on a natural process of how human beings work?
You know, Mike, there's a lot of people I've met recently that are like that. what can they do if they are, not expressing themselves, keeping it in, too scared to say something, too scared to do something in case they get judged or in case they get in trouble? Maybe it's a conflict avoidance thing. I'm not sure. I guess there's many cases of it, but what can someone do if they are holding that energy in?
Yeah, see, and again, it's very simple for me. It's about living, listening, and then following that guidance. If it's about self-awareness. I mean, if you're afraid to say something because it's politically incorrect, or what did you call it, conflict avoidance?
Avoidance.
Avoidance. Yeah, why? I mean, why the fuck would you want to avoid conflict? It's like, if there's a conflict, all that means is there's two contrasting ideas. And what that does for you is says, okay, well, you believe donuts are the best food in the world. I believe chicken is. We're not a match for relationships. We're not a match for this shit. If it comes to that point where it's like, you believe this, it doesn't mean that you have to be right for them to be wrong, or none of that shit matters. That's this whole agenda thing. That's where it's like, this is my purpose. This is what I stand for. Okay, cool. Then you have a whole bunch of other people that stand for that too. Go live your life with them. There's no reason for everyone's not going to like you. And there's no obligation, there's no rule in life that says I need to like everybody. You don't like everybody. Some people are annoying assholes. Welcome to being human again. It's like, it's okay. And they're only annoying to you. They're not annoying to their people. It's like, I often use the metaphor of like inviting a vegetarian to a barbecue. It's a mismatch. It's going to be uncomfortable for everybody. And it doesn't mean that vegetarians are better than meat eaters, or meat eaters are better than none of that. It's not a judgment thing. It's about, I like this because my body likes this, because my mind likes this, because it makes me feel a certain kind of way that I want to feel, so I can live the life that I want to live, because this is your life. It's your life. It's powered by you. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Mike. I think sometimes people have a trauma. For example, maybe they've been beaten up physically or raped or abused, and then now there's conflict, and it's almost like people freeze up. So it's not just a thing of, oh, I'm just going to change my mind. It's like, sometimes I've noticed people actually freezing, and it's almost like a subconscious block. It's like a trauma. Yep. What can they do?
Okay, so I will never speak to things I'm not qualified to speak about. And in that case, I can tell you a couple. I've been sexually abused. I've been beaten. I've been verbally, emotionally abused. I lived a very hostile life in many ways growing up. There was not a lot of love in my life. We were super poor, and all I heard my whole life was what a piece of shit I was. You're a loser. You're a fuck up. You're worthless. You're blah, 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 blah. That's all I heard as a kid growing up. And so, of course, I'm going to believe that as a kid. And I've been through those situations. Some of my family members have, my girls, I have three girls. They've been in the same kind of situations. So we've had this stuff happen in our life. It's not like we're just like, yay, it's all unicorns and rainbows. No, we've had some shitty stuff happen in our life. Alcoholism, addiction, all these things. That's been part of my life. The trauma part of it is like, I don't know how or what it is or why, but the principles I live my life by, the principles I discovered when I checked myself into rehab when I was 16, and I started doing drugs and alcohol at 12 to escape the pain. And I checked myself into rehab at 16 and all that business. But it was in that process of transformation I discovered these principles, and it's those principles that really empowered me to not be controlled by that trauma. And that I understand that the trauma is a thing, and I have friends that actually do that, specialize in helping people release trauma and all that thing. I don't know anything about that because I never had to do it. Same with my family. So whatever it is with these principles, it kind of like frees you from that, because it's not like I have no shame in what happened to me. I didn't do it to myself. That's a time in life when you actually are a victim. But here's the thing, like, you choose what to do with that after. And everything in every experience in this life, you have this amazing power that we have, and people just throw these words around like they're nothing, but it means so much. You have the power of perspective, which means you get to choose meaning, create meaning, see things a different way, make things mean whatever the hell you want them to mean or need them to mean, just by the power of your perspective. And when you can look at these situations in life that are sometimes shitty and sometimes like really ugly, and you can use your power of perspective, every experience in your life can become an ally and an asset versus an enemy. and something that's trying to keep you down. All of it can become that. And I guess just, decades of experience of repeating and doing this has just made it so it's a natural process for me. And of course, my family, that's how we live and all that kind of stuff. So maybe that's the reason why there's not a lot of trauma. But bad, terrible things have happened to all of us too. And for people that freeze up like that, I honestly, it's the same advice. I'm probably not qualified to go into that area and help people with that if they are in need of an actual professional to get to that point. Because I'm literally, I would say, how do you feel? And they would, I don't know. Okay, cool. Then how do you want to feel? And just ask a couple questions. And you get to a point where you realize, like, whatever the fuck it is, I don't like this. I don't like this. Cool. Now we have the contrast. Only from that point can we use that contrast as a treasure trove to say, what's the opposite of that? How would you like to feel? Like to be free from that fear, free from that pain, free from that misery, free from those shackles that hold you down, free from all of that. What does that look like in your life? And then we literally just shift the energy to that, the focus to that, and the building of life to that, and the feelings of practicing that. You're not going to be a rock star at it at first. Those muscles are atrophied, man. If people don't use those things like anything else, it atrophies. You got to do the reps. You got to do the work, and it gets better and better and better progressively over time, which is one of the PowerLife principles. And it's always the same process. It works exactly the same for every one of us all the time. The experience is very different because we all have very different dynamic experiences in life, but the process is very, very simple to create transformation. And I think in doing that, when you're focused on the things that you want, the things that your heart wants, the things that you've been pulled to do, the things that you stimulate your mind in a way that makes you excited for life, when you focus on those things and you begin to build those in your life, I don't know if it's possible to feel anything other than good, what we would consider good feelings: expansive, growth, power, adventure, discovery, all of these things, curiosity for life. I don't know that it's possible to feel trauma and pain and sadness and fear when you're focused on building that, when you shift that energy after creating a contrast to that new, what is it that I do want? Because I know what I don't want. I don't want to feel this shit anymore. It's terrible. Okay, so what do you do want? We identify that and move that way. That's worked for me. I don't know that it is the end all be all for trauma cases.
One thing that I have found useful is tapping. The whole, even though I'm feeling whatever it is, anxiety, I still deeply love and appreciate myself, and just going through that, allowing yourself to feel those feelings and feeling love for yourself. I found that quite useful. But Mike, I'd be really interested, and I don't know if you're willing to share, but I'd be interested to know more about what is your vision and what is exciting you. When you wake up and you go, okay, this is where I want to go. I know there's going to be contrasts. I know life is going to be difficult at times, but this is where I'm heading.
Yeah, sure. No, yeah. I mean, it's always been the same for me. It's more clear now because I've been doing this for a long time, and I've seen the damage that a lot of the personal development, whatever the hell you call this industry, personal growth stuff. I've seen a lot of damage it does for people's lives because of that spiritual addiction, that spiritual cycle, where I call it spiritual cycle, where they just feel good, but they don't do anything to change their life. And I know there's so many good people and so many people that want just more. They feel there's more to life than this, but they don't know how to get it because they keep going. Because here's how it works. So you have this reality that you live in, and it's like the earth. You live on earth, and you're like, man, this is just not my place. And you're like, oh, look at that big glowing ass thing up there. What's that? Oh, it's a moon. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go to the moon. So that's the place, right? So you have a new thing to go, and the earth would be like a pain point for you. And what happens is people they feel that pain and that discomfort and that dissatisfaction with their life, and they use that to push away from just enough, so they get far enough away from the pain that they stop feeling it. But what they're not doing is going up away from that gravity and flipping around and then going towards the next thing. They just stop here and like, oh, I feel so good. And then the gravity will eventually pull them back to that same thing. It's why women that are in abusive relationships go back, they get the courage to leave, but they get the same relationship with a different name and different face. If you don't have that contrast to find out what you do want, then you're not going to find it. So what I do and what I have done forever, and what I will continue to do, and do it in a little bit of a bigger way moving forward, is just help people get more of what they want in their life. That's really it. It's the bottom line, because what the hell is the point of doing all this stuff if that's not what the point is? It's not about like discovering the secrets of the universe. You're never going to discover the secret. The secrets of the universe. You want to discover that shit? Look in the mirror. There it is. But it's about why else do all this work if not to get more of what you want in your life? And that can be anything from a car to superficial stuff to significance to philanthropical adventures to money to whatever it is. You get to want what you want. And no one can tell you that's right, wrong, or good or bad or indifferent. If it's something that I have friends that are super successful in business, and what drives them is they want and they need and they crave this level of significance. They need to be important. I'm like, good, man, because by doing that, you're making a shit ton of money. You're living this great life. You're awesome. You're happy. You're helping all these people around the world. Good. And so a lot of people have this weird thing with like rejecting what they want, and it's crazy. It's crazy. You get to want what you want. And here's the thing too, there are no errors. If you feel a certain way, like, I don't really like this, or I'd like that, but I'm gonna keep it secret because it's like, no, that kind of thing. There's no errors in how you feel. This guidance inside of you is always dead on right. Because it can't happen if it's not, what's that?
So for you, Mark, it's about helping other people. I mean, have you not got some other more selfish goals as to like, I don't know, where you want to live, what type of relationship you want, what type of work?
Nope. I have what I want. I mean, my life is pretty amazing, and it really shouldn't be. I should be dead. I really should. I'm not gonna go with I put a little gun in my mouth and pulled the trigger. Like, that's fucking crazy. A whole different story. But I should be dead. But no, I mean, I don't need a lot of stuff for me to be happy. I have and that's another thing too, is people listen to all these people. You need to make 10x millions a year, and you need to have this kind of car, that kind of house. Why? What if I don't want that? What if I want a little fucking hut in Thailand? Like, okay, that's the thing.
But
it's like
that's projection, right? That's what they want. Doesn't mean that's what everyone else should want.
And they're saying this is the way because this is my way. Well,
yes.
if that fits for you, then by all means, go crazy, go nuts, and go get that shit. Go out in life and get what you want to get, man. And you have to create it. You have to fuel it. And you have to build it. You have to do it to make it happen. But I don't have any specific. No, I mean, I'll if I want something, I get it, man. It's just like I wanted to go surfing, so I got on the plane and went to Venice and went surfing like a month ago, whatever. I just do what I want. That's my philosophy for life, my version of freedom. I do what I want, when I want, how I want, where I want, with who I want. That's how I live my life. And I built my life in a way that's conducive so I can do that. And I'll continue to do that. So no, there's not a lot of like really, and here's the thing. This reason to help people get more of what they want, that all is derived from my pain I grew up in life with. The life can be awesome. It can be amazing. It's so awe-inspiring and beautiful, this place we live. There's some shitty stuff in here too, yeah, and you'll find what you're looking for. But man, it's amazing. And all the raw materials that we have available to create, all the faculties and functions that we have to create the capacity to create and use this external stuff to create, it's abundant in a degree that we can never, ever, ever, ever in one human lifetime do it all. So it's like we got dropped onto this most epic amusement park in the whole world, and ride whatever ride you want to ride, man. Do whatever you want to do. That's how it is. And
I love your analogies.
I speak in metaphors. It's how I get my brain with. So for me, that desire to help people is because I know it can happen, and I know there's people out there. And here's why: they're out there and they're in pain, and they're lost sometimes. And they're putting on a big ass happy face sticker, like everything's good, man. I'm kicking ass. I know people who are multimillionaires, who are not multimillionaires, who can't even tie their own shoes and can't function that way, and all the way to like doctors, scientists. And on the outside, it's like, wow, they got their shit together. But when you actually talk to them, they don't. They're in pain, and they don't understand. They don't know what they feel lost, and they feel confused because they're not living from their power. And what that really means is just your power to create, and your power to create is, I don't know that anybody ever has reached the capacity of the possibility of that. I don't know that we can. I don't think that there's like a human brain that's like, all right, it's full, shut it off, or a heart that says, okay, you felt all the feelings that you can possibly feel, you're done. I don't know that capacity has ever been reached. I don't know if it even can be reached, but
I think the ultimate creator would be God, right? So it's almost like that.
You believe in God? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what God is. I don't subscribe to that either. But yeah, I mean, that God, whatever that is. I mean, because what God? what God are you talking about? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, I don't know, man. So again, something I'm not qualified to talk about because it's just not relevant to what I do. But my point is that to help people get to the point they live in that power and make life about not seeking the answers outside of themselves, but rather seeking them inside of themselves through using the abilities they have, like intuition and perspective and the principle and concept of duality and highest energy wins, and becoming attractive to people in this world that bring resources with them. And all these what the PowerLife principles do for people is it re-engages their power. It's like, it literally is like the gym of life. And you go in there, you do these reps, and you do this work, and your life just starts to expand. And the reason that matters to me, man, like honestly, is not because Billy got a $1 million a year business or Sally got a Ferrari or whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. What I care about is who they have to become to get that. Because when they become who they have to become to get that stuff, they are an elevated human being. And if they're an elevated human being, there might be some kid that was beat by his dad, and his dad's an alcoholic, and he lives in some shitty little shanty hut somewhere, and he can't go to school, but he might have the capacity to create like wormholes and shit for interstellar time travel, but he's never going to be able to. I worked at a group home, as a drug and alcohol counselor, and I saw all these kids that had all this potential, but they were so defensive because they were in the system for so long. But man, you open them up, and I'm like, man, you guys are smart, and you got all this potential. And how many people in the world are like that kind of like taking their dreams and locked them in this cage inside of their heart and put like padlock after padlock after padlock, and then layers and layers of armor, and then lead, and then more armor, and then plexiglass, and these dreams are trapped inside of them, and they can go in there and they can feel them for a minute and go, yeah, man, I really wanted to be a singer. I really wanted to open up a restaurant. Yeah, cool. All right, and I go back to the job I hate and the life I hate and whatever, and sucking my soul out of me. But the dreams are still in there. And when people live from that space of their dreams, it is not possible to live in a life where pain is the predominant energy in your life. You'll still experience pain and frustration. You still get lifed. Life doesn't go away. You still get knocked in the head and dishes break and shit happens. But your predominant energy is not pain anymore. It's creation. It's expansive. And I believe that's what we're all built to do and designed to do. When you're doing that, you don't have any choice but to get more of what you want in your life. And as that happens, you're creating an environment that supports how you want to feel inside. And these walls start falling off. And pretty soon
it's like a ripple effect, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't happen like that. There's no instant cure. It's no instant, bam, you're done. You're fucking, no, it's never like that, because it's never over. And who would want it to be? Because that's why we stay engaged with life, because there's always something to do. It keeps you engaged with living, keeps you actively living, because what is everything? Everything's energy. What is energy? Energy's motion. You have to stay in motion to be alive, to live life, right? So it says that when you get to the point where you start to shed some of those layers that are hiding your dream, and you realize like, oh, now it's just like a bird in a cage. I gotta just open the door, and you let your dream out. People are terrified to do that. They're so afraid to do that because they think the bird's gonna fly away and never come back. But listen, listen, that cage, we'll call it a birdhouse, not a cage, sounds shitty. That birdhouse, that little birdie dream of my metaphor, that's its home. Yeah, it's gonna go fly. It's like, God, I've been in the son of a bitch for 20 years. I'm gonna go out and check some shit out. It's gonna go out and do what it's gonna do. Like, good God, thank you for letting me out. I want a worm or something, whatever. It's gonna go do that, but it's gonna come back, because that's its home, right here in your heart. That's its home, and that's your dreams. That's something that you like, whatever, a firefighter, a inventor, whatever it is for people. That's not wrong. It's not an error. It's there for a reason. And I think people can really experience more of how they want to feel that support that dream. It may not even look the same way physically, but if you can create an environment that induces that feeling of being a firefighter, whatever, a hero of some sort, or whatever it might be for you, then you're winning at life. You're winning. And to be that, you become a better mother, a better father, a better friend, a better husband, a better human being. In every way possible. And when you can become a better, which is basically just becoming more authentic, you no longer fear all this stuff in life. People's opinions matter, but your opinion matters more of yourself. So it's not like people stop mattering to you, but your opinion matters more. And you have this life where it just is like mine. And I'm like, yeah, I go through hard times and we have challenges. Everybody does. It's life. But overall, like, my life's pretty fucking awesome. And I've made it this way through this process, and it's very simple. It's nature's laws. But the whole reason that drives me to that is because the people, selfishly, not altruistically, if more people do that, it makes my world better. It makes my kids' worlds better. It makes the people I love and care about. It makes the whole world better. Like I watched it happen when I launched my first stuff in 2006, a ripple effect, a global ripple effect happened with all these people. And man, it just started, they're writing me in all these letters like, Mike, you won't believe what happened. My students did this, Mike, this happened, Mike, this business, blah, blah, blah. And just like, it's principle 11 in the PowerLife Principles, pass the torch. The brighter you make your flame, there's someone off in the distance with a little torch, a little stick. It's like a little ember, like, my flame sucks. I'm scared. Ooh, look at that. And they see a big old burning bonfire flame. Then they walk over towards it. They touch their torch to your flame and they go, is it okay? And you're like, go ahead. It takes nothing from me. They light their flame. Now there's more illumination. I'm going to start here small. There's more illumination in your life. You become more aware. And the more people that do that, then it just creates this ripple effect of people living the best lives they possibly can. And
it's interesting you say that, you know. I've sorry, Mike. I've noticed when I see people really being themselves, really enjoying them, whether that's someone just singing on the top, see people will start migrating around that person. Or you'll see someone, 2 people are listening, but they're really enjoying telling the story. Other people start thinking like, what is he talking about? You know, so it's almost like when someone's authentic and shines that light, like you say, it just attracts it. I guess the whole idea of completely being yourself without the fear of what are people going to think of me, what are they going to do. Principle 4.
Yeah. There's a big delay right now. So, yeah. Finish your thought.
It's just the whole thing of being yourself and allowing yourself to be that light so other people can connect with you easier. But maybe you could tell us more about Principle 4.
I will. And here's the thing. This is very important. This whole idea of being that so other people can be something else is one perspective to take on it. But it makes no damn difference if you're like, I'm going to go save the world because it's an altruistic vision of making the world a better place. Or you say, I'm going to save my world and make my world better because it makes my world better. Doesn't matter. The end result's the same. You're becoming more and more bright, more and more light, more and more able. Who gives a shit what the motivation is? Altruistic or selfish is all shit. It doesn't matter. The end result's the same. It still creates more light, more possibility, more support for people in this world who want more of that. So it doesn't have to be like, I'm a saint. Look at me. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm not. It's like it's just for me. Sometimes, like, you know, sometimes it's for other people. It doesn't. That's the whole thing. Principle 4 is not the law, the principle of attraction. I don't believe in the law of attraction, how it's proposed. And I know, like, I've done some, one of my friends is a PhD, got his PhD in enlightenment from Harvard. And we've talked about this and he told me where it all came from. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of been like bastardized a little bit, but I get the idea of it and everything else. But Principle 4 is the principle of attraction. All that really means is the brighter your light gets, the more visible you get to other people. And if it's a pink light with green moons and silver sparkles, people that like pink light and green moons and silver sparkles are gonna be like, damn, look at that shit. All right. And they're gonna be drawn to that. They're gonna be attracted to that. So for example, if it's like about race cars, like, oh, I love race cars. And then someone else is like, I love making race car parts. Like, I love building race car tracks. Oh my God. All these people, that energy and that sharing of that energy and the radiance of that energy is very attractive to everybody who likes race cars. And so what happens is you have this life. You're like, I love race cars, but I have no resources. And then all of a sudden, oh, I have money. I love to invest in race cars. I have tracks. These people come into your life because they're drawn to that energy. They're drawn to that same kind of frequency, as you will, the vibrations you talked about. They're drawn to that in a way that's just human nature. It's like, you know, you hear a beat or a music, you're like, yeah, I kind of dig this, man. Someone else is like, this is the shittiest stuff I've ever heard in my life. Cool. It's not for you. For me, I like it. And so and so those people are drawn to that. And what happens when people come into your life that have the same interests, the same support and guidance I talked about, the same support, the same guidance? What happens? They bring with them resources that you don't have access to until they come into your life. People are our greatest gift and assets in this whole entire world. It's not the stuff. They bring the stuff with them. They bring the money, the ideas, the innovation, the sometimes the motivation, sometimes the audience. They bring it all with them. And so when that person's like, man, I'm going to build a track, you build a race car, and the person's like, I'm going to build a stadium. Then you all together and you all win, and you're all like fucking immersed in race cars, and you all love race cars. You attract people that are on the same, they have the same kind of light, as I say, like it's like your bat signal. You put it out, bing, and it has a picture of a pumpkin. Like, oh, I like pumpkins, and you go toward, like, people go towards that stuff because you can feel that as a human being. It's not an actual, you don't have an actual bat light coming out of your chest, but you've been around people, you're like, oh yeah, or you've been around people like, wow, oh, those kinds of reactions you have. That's a natural thing. This energy is very fluid and dynamic, and it's very real. It's a very liquid, fluid energy we live in, and all of this stuff transfers. It's just constantly everywhere, like cell phone signals and shit. But we are the cell phones. So people that pick up that, if they like country music, they're like, oh yeah, I like this. This is a cool beat. They're drawn to that, and they come to that. And so the principle of attraction is just about amplifying that in yourself as much as you possibly can, doing the work, doing the stuff, being immersed in your loves and your joys and your passions, going through the obstacle courses that sometimes come up to continue to do that. Doing this stuff, the more you do that, the more attractive you become to people that also like that, and they bring resources with them to help you. That's principle 4.
Amazing. I love that. And I can see how that unfolds. It's just a natural thing of life, I guess.
Yeah. All of it is, by the way. All of this stuff is like, if you look at nature, it's exactly how nature works. It's like, oh, look, nature's got it figured out. We don't have to do shit, but just live and get rid of the crazy clutter in here, and just like be more aware of your own mental energy, your own emotional energy, and your own physical energy. Nature kind of handles the rest of it. It's like kind of easy.
So, Mike, we're coming sort of close to the end, and I'd still like to ask you a few more questions before you go. I'd be interested to know how all of this started for you, and what you're actually doing at the moment to make money. What sort of work is it that you're doing? I'm assuming you're in the personal development world. I don't really know, so I'd just be interested to know how that all operates.
How it all started for me was literally with a loaded gun in my mouth when I pulled the trigger, and the primer on the bullet was defective. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but that it led to a point in my life where it was a turning point for me, where I after like however long, I calmed down. I was walked around and I calmed down, and I literally took a step to the side and I looked over and I said, "You just killed the guy that pulled that trigger and gave birth to this man. Who is he? I don't know. I'm the same asshole I was 5 seconds ago. Nothing's changed, except for one thing did change. Is like, I am going to go out into this world and I'm going to figure out how this works, how all this shit works, and I'm going to get what I want in life. I see people that have families and love and money and success and happiness and joy and adventure. I see it out there. If it's out there, there has to be a way for me to get it. I didn't know that there were people like me, people like books, and all. I had no idea that there was an industry like this. So I literally did it in the trenches of life and figured out the principles that govern our lives and how we work. I would try this, that doesn't work, that happened. And I was very, very, very immersed in self-awareness for probably a solid year, to where I literally, every word I said, I'd like, okay, what does the mean? What are you referring to? And I went down. It was exhausting. I would not recommend anybody do it this way. It's exhausting. What is the? And then what was I referring to? Is it me? I don't fucking know. And as I went down this crazy, like super immersive self-awareness thing on my own, by myself, and I just kind of figured out what worked. And as I was doing stuff, one of the first things, I'll tell you this real quick, then I'll go on to the next part of your question. I was at a job interview at Dairy Queen to make hamburgers. It's not like I was building rockets. But I had no confidence, no self-esteem. I believed what I was told my whole life. I was a piece of shit asshole that deserved nothing. I didn't even deserve oxygen. So I'm at this job. I'm 18 years old, 17, 18, I don't know what I was, but I'm at this job interview, and I'm like, oh man, and I go to the place and I'm just feeling like so much stress, so much anxiety, so much like self-doubt. And I think about it now and I laugh my ass off. Like, it's making fucking hamburgers, dude. It's not like come on. But I was at this job and I'm like, they're never gonna hire me. I'm a piece of shit. All that stuff's going through my head that I heard. And I got so mad. I'm like, oh, and I put my hands up like this. And when I was in rehab, I worked out on bags to kind of process through anger, and just boom, 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 boom. I like working out anyway. It gets my body stimulated. And I'm working out on these bags. Boom, boom, boom. Put my hands up at Dairy Queen and I'm like, I feel more confident. I like put my hands up. I'm like, I feel stronger. What the hell is this? Put my hands down, and it was just a very, very, very subtle thing. Put my hands down. I'm like, oh, here it comes again. Holy shit! Wait, do this again. So I got in a boxer stance, put my hands up, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, did my body like change this? And there's a word for this. There's a thing for it, like kinesthesiology. There's some word for it. And I'm like, what is this? And so I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So I went home. It's ridiculous. I went home, and I'm like, all right, let's try this. I go in a mirror and I'm like, all right, get mad. So I make the mad face. And like within 30 seconds, I'm like, I want to kick someone's ass. I want to fight. Like, what are you mad for? You're in a bathroom looking in a mirror, your dumbass mug. What are you doing? So I'm like, all right, let's try something else. So I'm like, all right, be happy. And I wasn't good at being happy at that time. So I'm like, you're a jackass. You're so stupid. I'm like, look at yourself. I'm like looking away. I'm literally like not looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, yeah, like look at yourself. So I made myself look at myself. I'm like, oh, and then probably took like 2 minutes because it's hard for me. And I'm like, and I started smiling for real. And I'm like, and I'm laughing. I'm like, what the fuck am I happy about? Nothing changed. Oh my God, just because my stupid face can move around, this is crazy. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a wizard. I found the secrets of the fucking lab. I thought I discovered some whatever. And it's just how much influence our body, mind, heart connection has when they all work in harmony. And I'm like, wow, I have the power to change all this stuff. And that set me on a mission and a path to, and that took me probably 2 years from after I got sober to figure that one principle out. Highest energy wins. I'm like, oh, wow. And I started exploring it and playing with it. And over the next 4 or 5 years, I just like got better at it and got more clear on it and faster at it and faster. I'm like, boom, I can change things. I can alchemize energy that fast, process shit that fast. And it just became this natural part of my life. But that's how I got into the whole process, is because I was either going to figure it out or die. And I didn't die successfully that time. And I didn't want to try it again. I was like, no, this is no good. So that's what got me into it. And then I did my thing. I got married. I had jobs and stuff. And I'm like, always since a kid, this has pulled at me. Like, there's a whole nother story. It's pretty whatever, weird, you want to call it weird, but I'm not going to go into that one either. But it's always been a pull to me to help. I've always been the guy people come to, like, hey, what about this? What about that? And whatever. And I'm like, what is it? But there's always been a pull for me to do this, to serve people, to help people this way, because I don't know where it came from. I don't know. But I know that my path made it more possible for me. I know that my journey and my struggles and my adversity and my challenges, all these things I got through and overcame and figured out, it made it so I'm better at doing that. Made it so I'm more qualified at doing that. Made it so I understand the full spectrum of people, from bikers to bankers. I mean, I can relate with all of them because I've been in those situations. I'm like, yeah, I get it, man. I get it. I know how you feel, because I've been there. I've been to every damn corner of the thing, even with like sexual abuse and that kind of stuff. Like, yep, I understand. It's like, so all that stuff's helped me become better at that. So that's how I got to this point, and it just is something that's in here. Like birds fly because they have wings. I do this because it's just what I have. I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. That's pretty much it.
So, Mark, what is it that you do? I mean, are you running courses, or do you see people one-on-one?
I don't do much one-on-one coaching really at all. I'm a bigger supporter of communities, because communities has more diversity. And when someone throws out an idea or throws out a win or throws out a victory, it can be celebrated by different people, and more people can go, oh my God, that's a great idea, or that's a cool little gear I can put in my process. And it just helps people exponentially in the community, like a gym. And like, that's what I do, is I run a gym of life. I have the PowerLife Academy, which you can't get into unless you go through the PowerLife Challenge, which you can't even do that right now because we're redoing everything. It's all getting launched out right now. So there's not even access to this stuff right now. But I have a community of people and that kind of stuff. And I'm the #1 bestselling author. I have my book. I have a couple little courses here or there. But really my primary focus moving forward is to support this community of people that are going through life and helping them get more of what they want in life. There's no, I do a call or a live like this, but just with me on supporting that every Mondays with Mike. And then I do like talk about money and about health and fitness and energy and about relationships on every first Wednesday of the deal. And so that's what I do. That's what helps people. It's really about.
And if someone's interested in something like that, I mean, how could we get in touch with your program or find out more?
You can't right now. What the best thing to do would be just to like friend or follow me on Facebook, because I'll be launching it. I'll be when it'll be ready to go in about. My team's working on it now. I would say under 2 weeks we'll be ready to go. So to read there. Even my website right now, it kind of works, and I think you can still buy my book, but I don't like. Oh my God, this guy. I think it's so funny. I'm like, I don't care. It'll be done when it's done. But that whole thing will be. Facebook's probably the best way to do it. So just friend or follow on Facebook, and you'll see it. And the reason that is what I am focused on now. I mean, I've done other businesses. I built a brokerage business, business brokering business, app broker. We were the #1 app business broker business out there. I've done different. I've ghost written some books. I'm a writer. I've built other businesses on business opportunities. We did 26 million in the first year of business. But that stuff doesn't feed my soul. It doesn't. it's once you make so much money that, like, I haven't made tons of money. Let me caveat that. I'm not a millionaire because I don't want to be. I don't need to be. I have a certain. That's another big point here. Don't let anybody tell you what your number should be. My number is my number. It supports my lifestyle, what I want, and I get to do what I want, when I want, how I want, where I want. If that ever increases, then I will increase my number. But it's like you follow nature's laws, man. If you want an apple pie, you go into the apple orchard, you pick 5 or 6, 7, 8 apples. Some people are like, no, get all the apples. Why? There's no reason to. It's stupid. Like, why, if you have no reason to make $10 million, you're not going to. Like that.
It's so interesting you say that, Mike. You know, I'd love to share a story with you. I had a ex-girlfriend back in the day, and I remember we were sitting outside around the fire, and she said, Phil, what's your dream in life? And I told her my dream. I was like, I want to live a simple life. I want to live in a beautiful garden. I want to eat from my garden. I want to have a nice family. And then at the end of me telling her my dream, she goes, that's not big enough. She's like, it needs to be bigger. She's like, your vision needs to be international. And I was like, what? Don't tell me what my vision is. I've just told you my vision. Are you telling me it's wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do the same thing,
That's part of what I hate about the industry. It's just like you don't tell people what they want is wrong, because nature will take care of it. When you get the 7 apples, you make your apple pie, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, I make a damn good apple pie. And then people are like, you make a really good apple pie. Let's have an apple pie party. Oh my God, all of a sudden there's a need to go pick 5,000 apples. It's a naturally evolving process. You don't, people, it makes me crazy. Like, you need to do it this way, that way. No, I need to do it what feels right to me right now.
Yeah.
In this moment. And you do that, and you follow that, and you listen to that. Then if it requires more later, guess what's going to happen? You'll figure out a way to get more and make more. My number's gone up significantly since when I first got married to now. My financial number I need to live the life I want to live, it's gone up a shitload. But it's not at $10 million. I don't need that much money. What the hell am I going to buy? More purses for my kids and shit? What the hell do I need it for? I don't need it. But my point is, when you get to a point where you realize, like, I was at Bass Pro Shop, and I'm like, I can buy anything in here with cash, any boat, anything. And I'm like, I'm going to treat myself. And I went and I got like 2 hats and 2 T-shirts, and they were all on sale. It's like $24. Yeah, go me. When that kind of energy around money dissolves, and you realize, like, it's not really that. I mean, you need it to survive. Once you get, I talk about something called a life budget in the PowerLife Challenge and in the PowerLife Academy. And a life budget is just that. It's about, like, what do you actually need to survive. It's not just about money. It's about energy and money and other things. It's your whole entire life budget. Once you create that and you realize, like, I only need $3,562 a month to survive, or whatever the hell the number is for you. And then you're like, oh, that's, like, not that hard to do, because what I do right now, I already make that much money, obviously, because you're surviving. And you realize, like, oh, I'm good. And then you go, okay, what do I want more? Well, I want a boat, or I want to travel. Okay, that's going to be another $300 a month, or whatever, or $600 a month. Okay, cool. More apples. You have a reason for them. You will actually find a way to do it. The resources will make themselves available to you, and you have to put the puzzle together. But the puzzle pieces come into your life. You become aware of them. They've always been there, but you become aware of them. You go, oh, okay, here's $600 more. It's Uber or Lyft, or I'm selling baskets, or whatever the hell it is. And you go make that much more money because now you need it. You have a reason for it. So with the money thing, it's just, your number is your number, and it's perfectly okay with whatever it is. It could be, and I have one friend. He's like, dude, and he makes millions of dollars a year. And he's like, it's not enough. I'm like, for me, it's plenty. He's like, no, man, I need an airplane. I'm like, okay, it's not enough. You need an airplane. You need more money, right? Sure. And for him, that's cool. It's great. Go get your airplane, dude. Fly, and when you get it, we're gonna go to Vegas or something in that airplane. That's gonna be fun. So, it's all individual thing. That's the thing. Like, you can't look at all the. That's why, if I had my preference, I would be invisible. Actually, this is not about me. It's about, like, what do you think? My opinion doesn't matter as much as your opinion does. What I think, what I desire from me, it doesn't matter at all in relation to what matters to you, what you want for your life. This is always about you. It's always about them. It's always about, this, not this. I've got it done. I'm good. And always expansive and growth and adventures and new shit. That's always part of life too. But it's not about me. It's not like I don't care what I want. I don't care what never. That's why, again, why like I don't talk about things like agendas and stuff, because it's my opinion. Who gives a shit? All I care about, all I am interested in is helping you, whoever's watching this, whoever's ready, because not everybody's ready, get more of what you want in your life. And I know how to do that. I'm qualified as hell to do that. I've helped thousands of people all around the world do it already. And it's just something that I think, because when you do that, you live in a way that's more, I don't know, in alignment, conducive to how we naturally designed to live. So you can extract as much joy out of this time. It's just a flash in time, man. Like I call our body a spacesuit. It's like, here you go, put that. So there's some thing installed in here that makes it all work. And you get to, this earth is beautiful. Even the shitty stuff is useful and for the contrast, the stuff that you don't like. And some people's shit, another person's gold. So again, it's like opinions, that kind of stuff. No, it's about you. What do you want? That question has built empires and also caused suicides.
That question is something that has always been difficult for me. I think it constantly changes. I think I've got clarity on what I want, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I don't actually want that. I want something else. And especially with my type of personality, because I see myself as a jack of all trades. I can do a lot of things. I enjoy gardening. I enjoy playing music. I enjoy life coaching. I enjoy running workshops, and there's so much to it, travel, adventure, that sometimes it can be difficult to have this clarity, to go, okay, this is exactly what I want. I want to be a doctor, and I'm going to study to be a doctor and become so professional at it. It's more like my vision is like that, I want all these things. So it can be quite difficult to have that clarity.
It's a lot of people, like, you're not alone. A lot of people experience that same kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, it's easy. You are in the most epic amusement park ever constructed or imagined. You can't ride every ride at the same time. You can't ride the teacups and the roller coaster at the same time. Which one do you want to ride right now? The teacups? Cool, we got it. And you got to have a target. You have to have a target, or you'll never, ever, ever reach it. And so in the PowerLife Challenge, it's amazing. It's just this very simple process. I call it target practice. And it's this very simple process to drill down to actually what you want, why you want it, and how to actually get more of that in your life right now. And you might get like, I don't know, whatever, 16 units, whatever the hell, however you measure it, of that in your life, and be like, well, that was cool. I don't want that anymore. Good. What's next? Keep moving through life, because every time you elevate any area of your life, all the rest of the areas of your life elevate as well. So when you become a person that you have to become to get more love, more peace of mind, more health and energy, more fitness, more money, when you become the person you need to become to get those things in life, you've elevated every area of your life. Now you're better equipped to go to the next thing. And of course it's a successive progression through this stuff. Of course it is. That's how life works. It's a very dynamic and fluid process. So jack of all trades, yeah. Which ride do you want to ride right now? You can't ride all of them at the same time. So it's easy.
Love
and
that.
Then you just go, well, I want to ride the teacup. Well, that roller coaster is pretty badass. Yeah, I'm doing the roller coaster. All right, go do that one. The rides are all still going to be there, man. Like, it's like people are worried they're not going to be there. And what happens is you go to one ride, you forget about the other rides. Like, what the hell was that thing? I don't know. This is badass. And you find your flow in life, and those things no longer have any pull. It's not even a real desire anymore. You just got to take action and move into a direction to get more of what you want in your life now. And it will all expand naturally from there. Doors open up, ideas open up, perspectives change. The world around you doesn't change much, but how you view it does. So everything becomes a new resource, a new ally, a new challenge, a new bar set to where, okay, now I got to jump that high to the next thing. And it gives you that gift of that adversity, and that challenge gives you that gift where, okay, I need to like work on my jumps, like that high over the next bar. That's my next thing. And it just keeps you engaged with life. And when you're engaged with life, you can never feel this shit that everybody's trying to run away from. Why people get spiritually drug addicted and all spiritual addiction and all this stuff, like must find answers out there. You don't need that when you're living life that way. There's no that pain isn't there. There's different kinds of pain. Like there's some frustration, sometimes overwhelm, which again in Exposing the Core talk about frustration and overwhelm and what those energies actually, what the function of them actually is, and how to actually use them to accelerate and expand your growth and your progression. But if you live that way, you don't have all this stuff that all these people are like seeking. What the hell are people looking for? It's crazy to me. Like you have it all. You are it. I say this all the time. You are the power. It's not there. It's not there. It's you. You're the power. You're the creation. You're the creator of all this stuff. So of your life. It's amazing. People are amazing. They don't even know it. So let's just help them know it more so they can live that kind of life, because one, it'll make their life better. Two, it makes my life better. I'm around all these badass people living their epic lives. It's like, this is a pretty cool place to be, right? It's awesome. Everybody wins. So anyway.
Yeah. I'd love to chat to you about, I don't know how you are for time, Mike.
I'm good.
You good? Okay. I'd love to chat to you about, so I actually created an online program years ago. It was about 2.5 years ago, and it was called The Inner Artist. And it was really about helping people connect with their inner child and their creativity. And I'd give them challenges to create stuff, create music, create whatever. And it was actually something that really inspired me, and I loved it. And I did it, first of all, for free. I had 12 people join from all over the world, and they gave me incredible feedback. And then I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the Inner Artist #2. And I started charging for it. And it was interesting. So what happened is I attracted different types of people. And the one lady was a psychologist in her 40s, say mid 40s. And she challenged me, and she started taking over my session and talking. So I would do these sessions on Zoom so everyone could speak, and she would take over, and she just put me in a very uncomfortable position, questioning my methodologies and my teachings. And I actually had a big blowout with her, and I had a fight with her online with all my students there. And I completely turned away from this program, and I stopped doing it, and I haven't done it since. But it's calling me again. I'm getting this feeling of that needs to happen again. So I'm busy working on the website, getting it ready to go. And it's something that's really exciting me at the moment, but I'm not doing it right now, but it's just something that's sort of lingering and poking me,
Then do it. Yeah. I mean, dude, listen. So first of all, the free versus charging. When I launched my stuff, well, I don't know how many years ago, I was just like, I'm just going to help people, man. I'm going to help people. I'm going to give away for free and blah, blah, blah. And I did. I gave away I sold it for a while. And we were doing like 30 grand a month in sales and stuff. And it was doing good. It was at that time, my income like quadrupled from what my job was. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So it was great. But that was good. And I'm like, oh, we got all this money. We're good. Whatever. I'm just going to give this away for free. And so I did. I gave away all my stuff for free, my book, my workbook, my thing, all this stuff. And I supported it for months. And you know what happened? Nothing. People didn't do shit with it because people treat free shit like it's free. I mean, some people might do some things with it, but it literally, if you have a Bic pen here and a Bic pen here, and they're both worth 10 cents, but you spend, I'm being attacked by some Thailand. Oh, it's a little beetle. Yeah, it's just a little beetle. I saw one of those big ass wasps to fly in my ear. So you have a Bic pen and a Bic pen, and if you spend $1,000 on one pen, it's not worth $1,000, but you invest $1,000 in this one pen, and you get this one for free, and you're going to sign this very important document or anything like that. Which pen are you going to care about more? The one you spend $1,000? Yeah. Right. It's just how it is. It's not something you got to let go of that whole idea of like charging is bad. No, charging is good, man. Charging gives people the opportunity, because here's how I look at it. Here's how business stuff works for me. Very simple. This is part of the people. I help people with business stuff in this way. You have a thing. You have your program. You have beans, or you have eggs, or you have a training, or you have whatever. Find your artist thing and all these things. You have this thing, and that it fuels you up. It brings out the power in you, and it gives you that battery type energy that is like you become a human inductive charger when you're feeling that passion, you're feeling that drive, you're feeling that immersion of this whatever it is that feels so significant and important to you, and it feels good to you. When that's just pulsating inside of you, you're literally like a human inductive charger. No matter where you go, people are gonna be like, I fucking feel better being around you. Like, yeah, it happens all the time. So you have this, and so what people are really paying for, some of it's information, most of it's the proximity to that, because they don't feel that. And so when you say, okay, here, I have this thing in terms of a training thing, but it could be beans, it could be a can of beans. I got beans. They're like, well, I want beans. Well, I got beans. I want beans. Cool. Your job is to build a door with a lock on it. The only thing that unlocks that door, the key to that lock, is money. It might be $1. Put $1 in it, turn it, open the door. You walk through the door and get the beans. But they have to put the money in it. They have to turn it. They have to open the door, and they have to walk through it. Because at that point, that's them making a decision. That decision does so much stuff inside of them that you can't even. This is a whole other hour-long conversation of what making a decision actually does inside of people. But you have to give them the opportunity to make the decision to invest in themselves to get what they want. All of a sudden, it matters. When it's free, whatever. But then when they realize like it matters, and they realize, wait a minute, when this bounces back, I fucking matter. I matter. Wow. And then they have that place to go build from, to go enjoy their beans or enjoy. I use simple stuff because it keeps it simple. But they get to go enjoy their beans, and I love beans. I'm cool. All right, then so your job is to build that door and put a lock on it. That's it. Giving stuff away for free is doing people a huge disservice. I give plenty of content away from free on Facebook and writing all this stuff. So it's not about not helping people. It's not about being greedy. It's about giving them the opportunity to invest in themselves so that they take it serious and they get the full impact of their efforts and of their time, and they get to expand with that process. If they don't invest in the time, energy, money into these things, they're not gonna get as much value out of it. So
it's a nice message that's just come through on Facebook. I want to share with you. I'll put it on the screen.
Oh, hi, Ivana. I love Ivana. Yeah, she's an amazing person. So yeah, there's just this simple way to do it with business. And if that's lighting you up, dude, you do it. Now let's go to the psychologist part. Here's the thing: like people will read a book or they'll watch The Secret or whatever bullshit, and they get inspired. Like, I'm gonna go be a life coach. Easy, Tex. Hold on. You can be a life coach, but you have to understand that there's a 30 years of experience only comes from 30 years of experience. It doesn't just come because you read a book. It doesn't mean you're not qualified. What it does mean is that there might be, and you have to target to people when you're marketing and this kind of stuff, to people that are, for example, if you are a white belt in karate, you're not going to teach a black belt. You're not qualified to teach them. It's not a dig or a judgment. It's just you just don't know the shit. You haven't done enough. They'll be like, dude, this is like baby games to me. They're doing like flipping back kicks and shit. And you're like, look, I can make a punch. You're like, yeah, dude, whatever. So it's not a judgment. It's a process. It's a progression of expanding your own ability and your own capacity and your own experience and wisdom that you gain from doing this. So if you have this process or this program, you want people in it that if you're a white belt, can you help a black belt? No. Can you help white belts? Maybe. But even if you're just brand new at it, this is what I want to tell people. Like, if you're just brand new at it, don't think you can go. Don't say I can help anyone with anything. You can't. Stop saying that shit. But there is a group of people that you can help. The people looking for the fucking gym still. They're like, I want to do some karate. I can't find the gym. Oh, hey, I know where the gym's at. Any level, if you've made any moves in your life, you can help someone get to that same place that you've got, that they want to go. Doesn't mean you can help anyone with everything, but if you're a green belt, can you help train a white belt? Sure you can. You progress to that point, and it's just a progression. The more you progress, the more people you can help behind you that haven't got to that point yet. People in front of you that have already done all this stuff, whatever, you're not going to do much to help them. But you even help them because they look back and go, man, I remember that shit. Wow. And they start like remembering stuff that they forgot 20 years ago. Like, oh yeah, this is amazing. But the whole idea is that don't think that you never can help people, but don't try to help people you're not qualified to help. That is the worst thing you can do for yourself and for them. So this lady, I don't know the dynamics of this, whatever, but the psychologist lady is probably like, well, I'm a psychologist and blah, 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 blah. She had no business being in your program. She had no business being there. And that's when you say, hey, look, this obviously isn't for you. You came to our dinner table. You are a vegetarian. We're having barbecue. Probably should just leave. It's okay. Go. It's not a judgment thing. It's not a thing. It's not. You don't have to be all inclusive and all this like super fucking airy fairy politically correct. Everyone can come. No, everyone can't come. If I'm having a barbecue, you don't like. Don't come to my barbecue. And if you're having a vegan spread and I want meat, I'm not going to yours. It's okay. That diversity is what gives us so much beauty and so much like interesting stuff, like the different cultures and different. It's okay. It's okay to be different. We are different. That's what makes life so beautiful.
I guess it's also my responsibility from the beginning to put the correct wording out in my marketing to say this is the type of person I want, not just saying anyone come and then everyone comes and then I'm like, oh well, I didn't want this to happen.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You tell people like you qualify people for their sake and for yours. Because if you say, hey, anybody can come in here and there's someone there might be people, I've had this. I've had people come in and they have like legitimate mental illness. and they're like just batshit crazy, and they're saying all kinds of. I'm like, well, I'm not qualified for this. I don't want this. And I tell them, I'll like privately and say, hey, look, man, I think you need some help or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not here for this. This isn't what I do, and I don't think I can help you. You know, and I'm not going to sit there and because I don't have an ego about it. I don't have this need to feel like, whoa, look at me, I'm great. I would rather be invisible, honestly. But it's like I'm like I can't help you, and I can help you by saying I can't help you. You need to go find some professional help or something like that.
Which in that case, I guess it would be like giving them their money back and taking them out of the program.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. It's like doesn't not a fit, and they're going to leak through the cracks. But your job on the business, talking about business, your job is to market to the right people. Just hold up a sign to the right people, like I got beans, so they know clearly. Oh, I like beans. I'm going to go get some beans. And like I have cans of food. And they're like, ooh, maybe it's corn, maybe it's zucchini. No, it's beans. So they get there, they're like, I wanted corn, beans. You got to tell people up front, and that's great. It's just as valuable and just as powerful and just as useful and beneficial to weed out the people that shouldn't come to your quote unquote barbecue that should. It's equally as important to like get people to know I don't want to go there for the ones who go I do want to go there. The world is huge, and people people need stuff all kinds of different ways. So there's no shortage of a market or audience for anything. People buy fucking toenails on eBay.
Yeah.
Get out of here, man. You're like, if you're selling something, someone's buying it. I promise you. I don't know what it's crazy. It's crazy. So that's your
Mike,
job. You're at.
I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to chat to me, man. I really appreciate it. It was a very interesting chat for me. Absolutely. I do need to get going in the next 5 minutes or so. So
wrap it up.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, really, really awesome. And if there's anyone that wants to get in touch with Mike, please just find him on Facebook, send him a message, and I'm sure he'll be in contact with you. And for me personally, I'd actually like to check out your PowerLife program. It sounds like something that interests me. So I'll chat to you later on about.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Stuff. Yeah, I appreciate you getting up early, man. And also thank you so much for the persistence in the scheduling. I know my travel was going all crazy. We're supposed to do this a couple days ago, so I really appreciate you like making the arrangements for the schedule because I know it's been a little bit chaotic. And thank you for everybody. If you are watching this live, hello. Thank you for watching live. Appreciate your time. Hopefully it adds some value to your life. And if you're watching on a replay, again, thank you for taking the time to spend it with us. Hopefully it added some value.
Mike, enjoy the rest of your travels. Enjoy Thailand. And I'll chat to you.
Will do, man.
Sometime.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.